Alright, so for the past little bit, I've been working on throwing distance and the throwing triggers. Other than that, for the rest of this week, I was mainly focused on getting a working build made, getting a build packaged, and getting it posted up. On the screen here, you can actually see one of my most recent videos playing. This one actually covers the contents of the recent updates that I did to the build. Mainly right now I'm just working in a prototype setting so that I don't do something that could end up holding back the build progress. Earlier this week I pulled down a copy of the current build and packaged that and dealt with all the various errors that occurred during the setup along with the rest of the programmers so that we had a presentation ready for UATX. For the most part, the primary concerns this week were having the build packaged, having the setup ready, having the presentation done, having a video ready as well. Um, the main benefit of having the build made and having the executables made was so that the presentation could be done and that there would be a floor model for people to tool around with so that they could get an idea of what a game in production looks like, especially if they're intending to embark on a very arduous journey of being a game developer. I think Unreal is actually a very good presentation model or a example of game development for people to interact with because the blueprints are significantly less threatening than a wall of code. So I feel that having Unreal, having its bright colors, having its connections and whatnot, is going to help people feel that game development is a lot more approachable than looking at like the wall of code that you get behind Unity. So the presentation video largely just covers the currently deployed game development designs that we have implemented and how well those work in the world of game development. So I'm pretty happy with what I managed to do for the video for UATX. The game itself is a bit funky because we've gotten a lot further in the VR design stuff than we did previously. And getting that stuff correctly implemented with a mouse and keyboard just isn't possible because the gesture recognition goes almost solely off of the VR implements and the gears and the tool and the kit involved with that. So dealing with a release that uses only mouse and keyboard instead of a VR headset with the VR peripherals means that a lot of the content that is actually a part of the game couldn't be displayed, which is unfortunate. But that is unfortunately just the nature of the beast, and the beast is also known as COVID. In most situations, I think that we would have been able to go forward with a robust VR headset and getting to put on a VR headset and getting to play a VR game that's in development would have been really fun for a lot of people. But because of COVID and sanitation and concerns like that, even if there was a VR headset available for it or the VR setup was done, it wouldn't be consignable to actually deploy it through a VR demo because that would be all kinds of issues and concerns with the current beast of COVID. So, as blockage, COVID was a blockage to what we wanted to present, which would have been a more accurate rendition of our game, including the VR, the gesture recognition, the stuff that really makes VR shine because of the different varieties of interactions that VR has over just a mouse and keyboard, especially for this, since this is designed from the ground up to be specifically a VR game. Not having the ability to present the VR aspects of the game has definitely made a very significant hindrance to making a display model. But we managed to showcase most of the design and most of the other stuff for it. Aside from those hurdles, I feel that we accomplished a good deal in this 14-week period. I don't really regret the amount of work that went into developing this. So, with everything all said and done, I feel that this week's projects and this week's completions, with getting all the errors hammered out of it so that a concrete working build was actually made, accomplished a great deal successfully for the project and for the build that normally wouldn't have been possible. And I feel that all the various success that we had in developing the game and bringing the stuff together should definitely be carried forward, including some of the aspects that we haven't quite implemented yet. But other than that, I think we've accomplished quite a bit during our development, and I feel I've managed quite a lot in getting the build ready for UATX and getting all the errors sorted out of it with the help of the other programmers and even some of the artists when it comes to redoing some of the assets for their UVs and the paint context for those so that Unreal doesn't give us 2 tons of a problem. I think the thing that I'm going to work on next is making sure that the updated hybrid pawn for the build actually gets implemented, because there's a bunch of differences that we need in order to get the gestures fully implemented in the main build that were adopted or altered for one of the side builds. And getting that final hybrid pawn in and getting it working will start to bring the last peripheries of the game finally and fully together. This has been Eric Marshall. Thank you for your time.